Now to a water fight in South Central Washington that's getting downright nasty. The Columbia Snake River Irrigators Association, it's CSRIA. They're calling on state leadership to intervene and basically force the Department of Ecology and their Office of Columbia River, their OCR Division of Ecology, to stop with the delays for groundwater permitting. It's been stalled, and this is associated with Mercer Ranches. They're there in the Prosser area. They've been there. Mercer Ranches has been around forever, 125 years. Initially, it was, crops and livestock. And then in the 70s, they were among the first, if not the first, to then, start growing wine grapes in that fertile part of the state around Horseheaven Hills. And so they've been around forever. And so they're seeking this new groundwater permit because they want to expand permanent farm worker housing. These would be farm workers owning their own homes. And that's been something that Governor Ferguson has talked about a lot. He doesn't want them in shoddy housing. He doesn't think it should even be a rental type situation or housing they're just put in, but that they should have an ownership stake in farm worker housing. And so that has been what this project has been about for the last few years. Now, the Irrigators Association was apparently granted a temporary permit after doing all the testing to make sure the new permit wasn't going to impact any other water users in the region. And they say all that's been long since mitigated. All the experts have agreed it's a very small amount of water that's going to be utilized without any impact on the surrounding region. So I want to show you a clip here from Daryl Olson with the Columbia Snake River Irrigators Association. Um, he's pretty upset that ecology has been holding this stuff up. And he says Governor Ferguson wants this project, so it's time for ecology to get out of the way.
This involves a water right permit for Mercer Ranches that would provide water for farm worker housing, which would be permanent resident housing the farm workers would own, and also provide water for a new crush facility that he has. And I have to emphasize that this new groundwater permit was fully mitigated, and it's an extremely small permit. And our technical experts have all looked at it and said there is no problem with this permit, either an impairment or hydraulic continuity or demand. This modern story, the modern piece, started about 3 years ago when the then director of Office of Columbia River issued a directive to his operations manager who said, get this new permit going. And we have, the mitigation water, get it going. So that was about 3 years ago. And as I pointed out, both in the technical memo and other discussion, it's just been one delay after the next. I mean, nothing can get done, and either on the managerial side or on the technical side. So I have to really sum this up as management at Office of Columbia River has failed. There's just no other way to put it. And the technical side that they're supposed to be managing has failed because there's no technical issue. We have provided them with the technical information, to be able to make a sound decision. So when you look at this, then you have to ask another question, which is, it's not only failing Mercer Ranches, it's undermining what Governor Ferguson has said he wants done. He's been very clear, and ecology is now out in the region taking testimony on what does water resiliency mean, for the future. And what resiliency means is how do you optimize water and how do you provide water for all parties? And the second part of this is Tom Tebb was told by then governor that he should try to find water supplies for new farm worker housing. So there's two major pieces here for the governor that is not being carried through by Office Columbia River.
Now, the Department of Ecology's Office of Columbia River media contact, Emily Tasaka, I spoke with her last week. They have quite a different take on this. She basically told me they issued a preliminary permit and then there were some next steps, and they blame Mercer Ranches for not submitting this final step in the work plan. And then Larry Matson with Ecology, he's actually the official who would make the decision, emailed me this morning, again, suggesting that Daryl Olson and the Irrigators Association are the ones holding things up. He put this in the email. He says, "The ball is in Dr. Olson's court. We're waiting for CSRIA, that's the Irrigators Association, to submit the work plan, item number 6, and the preliminary permit. The work plan must be submitted and approved prior to the start of aquifer testing." Again, that was from Larry Matson, director of the Office of Columbia River at the Department of Ecology. And then just moments ago, so I forwarded that then back to Mr. Olson and said, "Okay, they're saying that you're the ones who haven't completed this final step." And the response I received back from Daryl Olson was, "Larry's go to hell attitude reflects his management style. Larry is in cover his butt mode, but the fig leaf does not fit." I didn't want to put words in his mouth. I wanted to read it to you directly. That was his response. So clearly, this water fight is not over, and I am working on an article for publication that will be up at the Center Square Washington page later this Monday afternoon. And now remember, tomorrow is August the 4th. Hopefully, that date jars your memory that it's primary election day in the state of Washington. And if you've yet to get your ballot filled out, need to do that right away. I wouldn't put it in snail mail at this point. I would make sure that's in a drop box or dropped off at a county elections office. And yeah, lots of important races, all those 5 Supreme Court races. We've got all of the state, Senate and House races that are up, a lot of congressional districts, and then depending on where you live, there are local bond and levy issues, all kinds of really important things. We have a top 2 primary, so if you don't participate in this, you're not getting a say in who advances to the general election because only the top 2 vote getters in some of these crowded field races are going to advance after tomorrow's primary. So that's your reminder. Thanks for watching today's episode of Washington in Focus Daily for this Monday. I hope to see you again on Tuesday.